Hello, Luca.
And we have to switch in English. How are you?
Yes, please, fine. Tutto bene, all is good. Thank you.
Yeah, good. So, what's up today for our Be Part of It?
Be a part of it. Today we'll cover a case study from floating-point.sorint.it written by the Circles reporter, Michele. It's for a client working in the European financial sector. Huge. We're talking about billions scope of business. It's not the most complicated project, let me say, but it's interesting how it started or how Sorintians handled it. The client
IT is not only a complicated project and innovative project. We can also solve some problem using normal technology, let me say.
Agree, totally agree. The client came for maintenance and upgrading some dependency for one of his software. It's an application, a mobile application. But the Sorintians decided to drop the whole project, the project, and rewrite everything from scratch using a new framework with a clean architecture, software architect. And that's it. That's why I felt it was very interested to bring one of the team members, Gopal, a full stack developer in Circle Continuous Maintenance and Development, to tell us more.
Hello. Hi, how are you?
Hello, Gopal.
Fine.
So, Gopal, was I accurate about how it started? The client came for maintenance and updating some dependencies?
Yeah. So basically, we got the app in the position that it has some old. It was written with the old version of React Native, and we for the feature that they were requesting, we need to update this framework. But it was not an easy task, because updating only React would trigger a lot of issues with other dependencies. So we tried to do it, but it will require a lot of effort. So we came up with an idea that we took to the client to rewrite this app using Flutter. That is a new framework that is emerging in this time.
I assume the client accepted as we did the project. So tell us some of the functional requirements of this application. What are the
Okay, so the main aim of this app is to do networking with people. In the application, you have a chance to contact via chat the people that are in this company and in various companies, because in the end, the platform is a mean to connect people. And the other important aspect is the training and the workshops. So the client organize training and workshop, and people can follow it, the app, and also this.
So it was like a network manager.
Sorry, we're talking about something that is very common nowadays. So it's a platform, digital platform, where there is a community of many actors that interact together. So we have many
community.
This is very common.
And so we wrote the app again using Flutter framework. And in general, the app is now live in production after 2.5 months, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. And the client, what was the feeling from the client side?
So the very first feedback that we received from the client, it was the fact that the app was a lot faster, because Flutter is a more faster library to render than React Native. And also in the old app, there were some API calls that were made twice or 3 times. And we also fixed that issues. So in the end, we have a very reactive app.
Things Gopal, the client even didn't mention. According to the case study, there wasn't any requirements regarding non-functional requirements that we need to do, right? So the client didn't come for performance or any sort of non-function. No. This is something we added to the project.
Yeah, because it rewriting the app, it make us like our work easier in the future.
to maintain the app.
This.
Imagine. Sorry, just to interrupt you, but it's very important because here we have this kind of fact. We are trying to solve a technical debt mainly issue because we have technical debt because the application used an old framework developed times ago. So it's very important to keep in mind that we can rewrite it. So this is the idea, rewrite it and then improve it. So solving the technical debt, that means lower cost of maintenance, but also the first reaction was how fast was the application. Imagine that, as mentioned before, that's an application dedicated for interacting from people. So if you send a message, receive a message, receive notification, and can interact, the speed
you
of
need performance. You need reliability. You need performance.
We are not aware that this could be an issue until someone solved it. No? So
until you see the difference in another,
And this is very important because it's very hard to do an estimation of the cost of changing a software or part of a software, or in this case, the mobile part of the software or the application of the digital platform. It's very hard to make an estimation, so to understand the budget, the cost of changing, because this is the matter. When you have a technical debt, sometimes, or an old application that cannot leverage on new technology, so solve some normal issues, you have this very the problem that is that the cost seems to be very high. In this case, as you mentioned at the beginning, this was a small application, let me say, not a very huge.
It's not the most complicated,
The most complicated, so the cost is very easy to understand. That if you have an application written with lower cost of maintenance and also best performance, you can see the value of the application. Sometimes if the application is more complicated, you cannot see the benefits of rewriting or solve the technical debt.
Upgrading or
you don't need to write everything. No, it's not.
What was the most? Sorry, what was the most difficult tasks in your backlog, Gopal?
So when we rewrite the application, we took a step ahead. So we added some feature that it will make us easier to handle later. One of these was the integration of Crashlytics, Firebase Crashlytics in the application. So if there is any problem, we can easily find the problem and later on work on the solution. It was one of the complicated part. And another thing, we needed to create a new environment, the dev environment. Because
before the dev environment, Crashlytics is one of Firebase Google's solutions. It gives you feedback on an error that you have. Am I correct?
Yeah.
So in the old solution, in the first application that the client came with, when you have an error, you wouldn't understand what's happening.
The issue was that we know that there was an error, but we can't connect it to, okay, this client has this error. And maybe the error were coming from another things. We rewrite the crash shell. We rewrite how the application talk with the Crashlytics. So now if a user call the client to say it has a problem, the client will reach us and give, hey, this is the user, and see what is the problem. And we can easily go on the Crashlytics.
Identify where it's triggered, this error, exactly. Something, Luca, also related to maintaining the app and handling.
This is also a strategy when we approach a customer that wants to rewrite, to solve some technical debt or do the application modernization. So they want to modernize an application. An approach could be that is one of our approaches to take care of the application. So try to become a provider of the customer of the maintenance of that application. So we can learn the pros and cons of the application, the maintenance issues, where is the real problem, and then become aware of the the technical debt itself. So it's easier for us to start changing part of the application during the service.
During rewrite, easier for us now to maintain and easier for the client later to have a more accurate information. And sorry, you were saying the dev environment. What was that?
So when we got that, there was only the stage and the production environment. So the client would be able to test it on stage and later release it. But on the API side, there was also the dev environment. And we needed to create this for this application. We created a dev environment where we also released the application in dev. This wasn't there initially, but it helped us a lot because there was some error in some case that we had in stage, but not in dev because the API version was not the same.
It's not the same. You're not working on the almost exactly the same environment. So we also introduced. Okay, what else? Any hard tasks?
Anything else? Another feature that the client requested at the last moment, let's say it was to keep the user logged in when he updated the application. This was an issue because as of now, the application was saving the token in the safe area, let's say safe access of iOS, Android. But Flutter cannot access the same data written by React Native because there were different frameworks.
That's an issue.
So we solved this using instead of the secure access temporarily, we waited in the private directory of the application. Now with the next update, we are going to remove this because obviously it could be a security issue.
Of course. Testing, documentation. How are we in this activities?
So the documentation is still in progress. Also the testing. We started unit testing this week, and we are going to do it all the components. It will require more time.
So the project is ending, at least the first stable versions, and now we're finalizing the documentation and all the testing activities. Chapeau to you, the team, and everyone behind this project, really. And that's all, Luca. That's all.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Gopal. Thank you so much, Gopal.
Thank you, Gopal.
Thank you.
Thank you to you, Mohab, as usual. So we will see in next week. So as usual, with the next episode of the Be Part of It. Thank you very much. See you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Ciao.